Hey you guys, it's Tonya, and for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that every now and then I get in this wild hair to make cards out of my scraps. So today I wanted to share with you a few cards I made yesterday in just a couple of hours. You know, it's just one of those things where this is how I use up my scrap pile, and I hope it inspires you guys to get in there and do some housekeeping yourself and use some product that you've had laying around for a long time. One rule that I have when I do this is I am not allowed to use anything new. I have to use things that come from my scrap pile, whether it's little pieces of ribbon or little tiny pieces of leftover embellishments, you know, like whenever you open a pack and there's only one piece left or one flower left. You are not allowed to go into your main stash for anything. So every single thing you see here is made from something that was in the scrap pile. So the first card is rather simple. Some of these they're very simple. And this was the scraps that were used from my Ustream. And I used a stamp on a piece of scrap paper. It says here's the scoop, but it is the paper from, or it is the stamp set from this paper collection. And then even the typewriter was used from a piece of scrap paper. So it's a very simple card, but has a lot of pow to it. The next card is this one. And the background of this one is a piece from the Parisian Anthology line. So you know that's really old. I've had it for a while. And I usually keep a stack of Copic images colored. You know, I think this little girl is from the MFT collection. And I usually keep a stack of them that are pre-colored so that when I do sit down to make cards, they're already colored, so I'm productive. So there's that one. Now this one is from a secret squirrel box I did in October, and I think the paper collection was The Sweetest Days. This is a piece of butterfly that was cut from Flights of Fancy paper. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of scraps here. These little flags were cut from scraps from some cards I made for a friend's baby shower or bridal shower not too long ago. Even the swirls are swirls that are from a scrap pile. I tend to take my Prima Bling and cut it apart. So those swirls were leftovers from where I had cut something apart. And then the next card is, this paper was used not too long ago on, it's a Prima paper, but it's from a couple years ago, and I used it inside of a journal that I recently made. So this was a piece that was left over. And to make the flowers mimic the flowers that are in the background paper, I just punched from another piece of scrap with the Martha Stewart rose leaf onto some turquoise paper. So, and then I had just gotten this Tim Holtz Bird and Branch die cut for Christmas, so I decided to use it on this card. And the next one, this was the background paper was actually a piece left over from when I did my Ustream for Christmas. And this was just a little piece left over from those. Again, it was one of the little smash books I made about a year ago. I made the flower that's on this one using the Tim Holtz Tattered Rose die cut. Super easy, and the lace that you see there is just a little fragment of lace that was left over from a project, and I just, you know, put it on there. When you layer it with a couple other things, it kind of works. And this one, again, this was a journal that I had recently made, and this was a piece that was left over. So these are the big Prima flowers that are available in the tubes, and I misted them with the cranberry color wash and a brown color. I think it was the Delusionals. I can't think of the name. I think it was chocolate. So that's that. Very simple cards. A lot of these cards do not have sentiments on them because I usually make the cards up ahead of time and then put the sentiment on it when I get ready to mail it. So there's that. This one, again, super simple. And again, I made this flower. The flowers are all made out of scrap paper. And here's another one. Lots of scraps used on this one. That's even scrapped ribbon. And then this one, this is the Tim Holtz bird cage. Oh, my bird came loose. He needs to be glued down. He goes in there. I'll glue him back whenever I get back. But this is the Tim Holtz bird cage, and I cut the side off of one of the rings off of each side to make it a little smaller. And then those are some remnant Prima flowers down here, and I only had two, so I used the third one as just a Prima bulk flower that it looks like a daisy. And for the last card, this was the last one, and I used some of my punches on it, and since this punch kind of has a weird edge on it, I didn't want it to fray. I backed it with a piece of another piece of scrap. And again, you know, these are just really simple cards, but what a way to use up some of those scraps that you have lying around. So I was able to do 10 cards yesterday, and when you come up with a design that's simple like this, all you have to do is go through your scraps and duplicate the same card over and over again, and you know, it makes making them pretty easy. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked my project share today, and please leave me comments.